Well, hey there, everybody. It's time for Chubs Gone Wild, episode 441, recorded on April 22nd, 2022. How are you?
Wait, are you talking to me?
Well, I was talking to our listeners, but apparently they don't want to talk back. So
I was saying it's like asking questions to people who don't really. Since we're not live in front of an audience, so
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I have an audience behind me, but it's just an old picture of my family because I didn't have any flowers or anything. But yeah. Anyway, it's currently 79 degrees and sunny outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios. All I can say is, well, it's not 80.
Oh, it will be.
Stop with it. Yeah, I looked at the because when I journal, I put the weather in every day, and I go to a calendar page, and all I saw was 80s, and I was not thrilled. Not thrilled. But there is 180 that I am thrilled about, and that is the 188 days until Halloween, the 243 days till Christmas, and 189 days. That is 189 days until TJ's Zombie Girl retires. But she's not retiring from us, just work. So that's good.
Well, the other 80 is Barbara Streisand turned 80.
I saw. How cool.
Yes, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Today is Carol Burnett's 89th birthday.
Oh, she's so awesome.
What worries me is they're getting to that age now.
Oh, I know. Penelope Keith is 80 or 81, 80, I think. All these people that we just loved so much in our youth, and we just have to sit here and watch them fade away one by one. It is sad and yet beautiful and yet even more sad. But anyway, if you're sad right now, the thing that will perk you up is going over to our Patreon page, where it offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, more. And we want to thank our current patrons: Clint, Nephi Nick, Zadija Stasage from the universe, Eric, Sean, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave, Kingsley, and Moose P. And of course, our returning patron, Charles. Hi, Charles. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame and consider joining for as little as $1 a month, and you can listen to extraneous podcasts and recordings and all sorts of fun stuff, including, well, there may just be a new project launching over there. We'll just leave it at that. Anyway, today, on April 26, 1954, the sock polio caffeine. We were just talking about caffeine. I like caffeine. Anyway, but this is a vaccine. It started its field trials involving 1.8 million children, began at the Franklin Sherman Elementary School in McLean, Virginia. So children basically participated in the trials, and it was which was used for the first time, the now standard double-blind method, whereby neither the patient nor the attending doctor knew if the inoculation was the vaccine or the placebo. 1 year later, researchers announced the vaccine was safe and effective, and in the ensuing decades, polio vaccines all but wiped out polio in the Western Hemisphere, until anti-vaxxers said, no, we want our children to have polio. It must. And now it's kind of, there again. Anyway, so, double-blind, what do I call them? Double-blind trials. That's kind of fucked up in a way, don't you think?
Well, if you're the one that gets the placebo, yeah.
Yeah, because
I'm just thinking after a year, all of a sudden you got kids in crutches that got placebos going, hey, it didn't work. Oh yeah, you got the blind. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's why I don't, the ones where they do the double blind studies for like long-lasting prep and stuff. I'm like, what do you go? People go out there and go, oh, well, I was part of this double-blind study and I got the placebo, so now I'm HIV positive. I don't know. They're weird. I understand them, but they're weird. All right, moving on. Let's see if we celebrated any holidays today. What do you think?
Probably.
Maybe 2? Okay. Well, today is Alien Day.
Is that the movie Alien Day, or are we talking people from another country or another world?
I'm going to go with another world. But, that's just me. There's a lot of alien things around. But also, it's Audubon Day. And so that fits, right?
How does that?
Aliens are outside usually.
And birds are outside?
Yes.
You're dumb.
Well, I still believe that birds are like little aliens, and they're watching.
No, they're little dinosaurs, is what they are.
They are actually. Well.
Oh my God!
But did you know that pterodactyls are not dinosaurs?
Okay.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Anyway, it is also Get Organized Day. Well, I did bag up my trash, so yay! Hug a friend. No.
You got to find one to do that.
I know. International Chernobyl Disaster Remembrance Day. And well, we remember that it's still going on right now, people. Okay. Because it's in
Ukraine.
Yeah. There we go. It's also Hug an Australian Day. Well, I didn't hug one, but I did write one because caught up with a distant family member who we've been doing genealogy research and stuff, and they live in Australia. So yay. Also, it's National Dissertation Day. I love desserts. I love them. Also, Help a Horse, Pretzel Day, Richter Scale, Static Cling. I fucking hate static cling. In fact, you can't see it, but right over there on the shelf is a spray thing that I spray anytime there's static cling anywhere.
You just put your finger in your grandmother's boob.
Actually, we've decided that she's not my grandmother. She may
too bad, because she's got the best hat.
Great grandmother. She does, doesn't she? Isn't that awesome? So anyway, also bus drivers, intellectual property, and kids and pets. National Kids and Pets Day. Well, I'll take the pets. Also, National Pretzel Day.
Maybe they meant goats and pets.
Oh, I like that better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Meryl Streep, she's a goat. Today's affirmation. I choose to see myself and what I do with eyes of love. I love what I see. Okay, that made me happy. Next. What?
Huh?
Time for birthdays.
Yeah.
You like birthdays?
No.
Oh, well, we're going to love some of the people that have birthdays today.
All right.
Next week, including Victor, John, Ellen, author J. Scott Coatsworth. Oh my God, go check out his books. He's a great sci-fi writer. Also, Julian Terrence, Seth K. Ray. that almost rhymed. Anthony, Tony, Phil, Thomas, Grace, Paul, Austin, a lot of people born here. Yeah, Christy, Kelly, Carmel. Oh, my cousin Shay. Oh, I love my cousin Shay. Also, Joanna. Oh, it's Donna Sugar's birthday. Might have to go get a cake with my Donna Sugar's money and just have a ball. Also, podcast listener Tom, Gar, Dan, Daryl, Miguel, and DJ. You and I worked with DJ doing voiceovers for a cartoon show. He's pretty awesome. All right. What do we have next? We have some feedback. We actually do have some feedback that just came in. Let me see here. Where is it? This is from Sean, and he says, I'll take McD's over Jack in the Box just for the McCaff drinks. Yeah. McCafe drinks.
That's coffee. Remember, you like coffee now?
Yeah, but I don't like the McDonald's stuff.
Well, that's because it doesn't have no sugar in it for you.
I was gonna say because it's gross and tastes nasty.
Well, yeah, but some people like the McCaff drinks.
And that's totally cool. I know lots of people that like those Shamrock shakes too, but I can't drink them.
Yeah. Actually, my McDonald's was, you couldn't get to it yesterday because there's a big shootout near it.
Oh, I heard something.
Yeah, the hostage thing. It was like right back to it's my route to get to McDonald's, and so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stay out of the area.
Yeah. So did you stay home or did you get like chicken or something?
No, I stayed home.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's really good. He also says, and Pizza Huts don't stay in business here, neither do round tables for that matter. Huh. That's really interesting. I guess a lot of people make homemade pizzas there.
Well, no, a lot of people like the I mean, that could be the possibility, but a lot of people like the family businesses pizza place.
I do kind of. Go ahead.
Except they tend to be expensive.
Yes, I was gonna say I would support more of the mom and pop ones around here if I really knew one of them that were close and good.
Well, it's not even the good; it's the price.
That's
because they don't have the opportunity to buy in volume the same way the larger corporations do. So that's why the costs are higher for mom paws. So
yeah, I can go with that. So we do have, I guess, some chub hugs to send out. Did you want to go first?
No.
Fine. Well, my chub hugs go out to all the loved ones who are on the other side of the camera. I know. Well, here's what that means. Basically, when there's like, oh, there's a picture of the kids, mom and the kids, all the family together and everything. Like in the photo behind me, there's a whole bunch of, family there. But there's family on the other side of that photo too. Why isn't Daddy in any of our photos? Because Daddy was on the other side of the camera. So to all the people that were on the other side of the camera, I send you a chub hug.
I know how that feels. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So what you got?
Oh, I've got 5 little girls.
Oh, wow. They're really growing.
Hugs and kisses for my girls. Look at that
little one in the middle.
Well, she's trying.
She is. But the others, wow, they're really sprouting, coming out.
This one was the one that you met last week.
Nice.
And the other ones were half her size.
Wow.
I know. All of a sudden, this has been a very productive week. So
apparently,
I was going to plant them yesterday because we were, but we didn't record. But I wanted to show you before I plant them because they're not as dramatic when they're in a big, pot.
Right.
So, but when they're little like this, and they're just so sweet, and I love them.
So, do they smell like?
It's weird because this particular variety does not smell until they get towards the very end of their cycle, and then they start to smell. I kind of they're kind of like teenagers. Well, they're when they're babies, they don't smell too much. Actually, pretty much nothing at all. Let's see. No, they don't smell like anything. But when they get into their teenage years, and we know how teenagers are, they get in their stanky mode. So that's that's when you walk in and go, whoa, it's stinky. Cool. But it's a stinky.
So is that your chub hug to your
yes
girls? That's awesome. They're looking great. Oh,
Of course, they should have looked like this a month ago.
hey, they'll get there.
I know, and the little one had problems getting out of its seed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't think it was last season, but the season before, I had a little one like this. And remember that big bud that I had? That
Yes.
was like a Christmas tree?
Yeah.
That from a little girl like that. So, good things still come from them. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Cool. I'm glad they're growing. Well, jumping into current topics, Florida Senate has voted to end Disney's property deal to punish them for speaking out for LGBTQ people. So does that mean Disneyland's going to have to move?
No, but what that means is,
World.
that's fine. Then what's going to happen is that county is going to have to pay for Disneyland's fire, police, everything that Disney has been paying for on its own because they were their own entity now falls upon the taxpayers of that county and the state of Florida. So it's like a $1 billion deficit that they're going to have to suffer through to protect the children from Disneyland.
Interesting. Well, good luck, Disney World, with that. Well, actually, I should say
good luck, Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, Disney World's growing up. That saves us some money.
Yeah. Wow. Well, anyway, also Jen Psaki breaks down in tears answering questions about GOP attacks on trans kids. I really like her.
Yeah, she's leaving.
Yeah, of course. I like her.
But she's going to MSNBC.
Poor thing. All right. Ted Cruz claims Disney will make cartoons about Mickey Mouse and his dog Pluto having sex. Ted Cruz is weird.
Well, yeah, that's just this is just their way of throwing out something that people will immediately get a visual of and make them hate Disney. And it's like, okay, Ted Cruz, just remember, Disney has been making the content that you and your families and all families have loved for years, and you're trying to darken that okay, you're gonna it's gonna roll back on him, on all of them.
Yeah.
It will,
especially mouse dog sex. That's weird. Although there was a dog that wasn't fixed that I knew when I was a kid, and it would hump anything that moved. It tried to give the cat puppies, and yeah. So I mean, that's not a Disney thing that I.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeding into Ted Cruz's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've seen God do that, so yeah, I guess that's possible. Oh, thanks for that.
Yeah, you're not listening. You're twisting. So, but speaking of twisted, Molly Shannon opens up about her closeted gay dad in a very touching interview. When she was young, her father was driving drunk and had an accident that killed her mother, sister, and cousin. She and Howard Stern spoke about the guilt he carried after that and explored the depths of what haunted him. So, that's interesting. I think Molly Shannon is just extremely talented and probably a wonderful person, but I get so tired of her crazy characters just because they're so overdone. Did you ever see of course you didn't, but on Happily Divorced she played the ex-husband's sister, and she and Fran had a knockdown drag out fight with wedding cakes. It was fun, but her character was ridiculous. Anyway, moving on. Tom would like to talk to you.
You are off critical today.
I am just being
I'm glad that you can
podcast partner I can.
Career by talking about how she's known for her crazy characters, and you're shitting on her crazy characters. Terrible.
Oh well, she's probably got enough toilet paper to take care of that. Anyway, I'm just trying to be the best podcast partner I can for you.
Yeah.
So, Tom's going to tell you about his week, but he's making sure everything's ready to go.
No, I was putting on my slippers.
Well,
let's see. Okay, this week finished up Blackish finale, a series finale after 8 years. They're done there. RuPaul Drag Race, they had the season finale of season 14 this last week. And what was interesting was they filmed it live a couple weeks ago in Vegas. But they filmed to where both the first runner-up and the winner won.
Mm-hmm.
So that the audience wouldn't know who won, and because they said that it was they had the top 5, but that's as much as we knew. But they, at the end of the show, they knew that there was a final 2, and they said that the final 2 was smeared all over the internet. But because they filmed both of them winning, no one knew who the actual winner was.
I think that's great.
Well, I hope, but the fact is that at this point it's been 4 or 5 days. So, spoiler alert: Willow Pill ended up winning, which was great because, well, actually, anybody but Diabetes was fine with me. But Lady Camden from Sacramento was the first runner-up.
Oh,
so
good.
So Lady Camden had, she gave her acceptance speech that was fake. So, and I felt bad for that. So hopefully, they knew that was, well, hopefully they knew ahead of time, that they weren't held in darkness the whole time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird. Let's see. We also had the season finale of Ghost over on CBS.
Oh, okay. Season finale. Okay.
Season finale. They're already filming season 2. I finally saw the end of Bridgerton. And you just threw up in your shirt. That's great.
I just had to cough. Anyway,
sorry.
Yeah. So what'd you think?
Well, I was telling Brian this. I said, well, it started out with, where I was very excited, like a bowl of really great soup. Where you're eating the soup and you're going, oh, you're discovering what kind of soup it is and what's in the soup, all the little extras. And then, after like episode 3, the soup's getting kind of cold and murky and I'm not really wanting it. But I'm going to get through this soup. And then by, episode 7, I rewarmed the soup and then I'm finishing it. And it was excellent when I was done with everything. It's just the middle was so angsty. It wasn't much fun as the first season was. I really, the thing I liked about it was all the bitchy, gossipy thing, and now it was find out who that woman is. We're gonna take her down, and then the love story, which was a typical love story. I'm sorry, there was nothing exciting particularly out of that.
See, I actually really liked it, and I mean, you knew it was coming. You knew they'd work it out.
Of course.
But I just was like, how are they going to get to that point? And of course, I thought they were a really good match and had great chemistry on screen too.
Oh, well, yeah, I had no problem with the couple. It was just the point of, oh my God. And, it almost got ridiculous.
It did.
Oh, no. It did ridiculous.
You know what I think was ridiculous though, seriously, was the sister who went from trying to be the perfect of everything and blah blah blah, and then suddenly when she decides she's not going to be perfect anymore, she is a bitch. I mean, she's just like crazy bitch.
Okay, what she's a bitch because she finds out that her sister's in love with her fiance, and her fiance.
It's not because of that. It was like they literally changed her from being like a really not well. When they finally threw off all the bullshit, but no, she just got too headstrong, too quickly.
She got
wanted to see just a little bit more transition.
I thought it was fine. I mean, I thought because she was the victim in this. She was a victim in everything. And so you know what? I would turn from being meek and shy to being a fucking raging bitch. If my sister fell in love with my fiance, I had a big wedding in front of the queen, and in fact, that's where I find out that my sister's really in love with my fucking fiance. And now,
right.
and now I'm stuck with my thumb up my ass, feeling like a douche that I fell for all of this. Yeah, I would be a little upset.
But they really didn't try to trick her into anything.
No, but they all lied and deceived. And then she finds out on her wedding day at the wedding.
Right.
Okay. Oh, you don't have a problem with that. Okay, moving on.
No. I think it was I thought they did a really good story arc part with that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, you're saying that she was a bitch, but she had every right to be a fucking
No, I said they took her from zero to bitch in like half an episode. And I just think I wanted to see her kind of grow a little bit more. But
okay.
That's just me.
Okay, Masked Singer this week, they introduced 5 new characters. It was Queen Cobra, it was Jack in the Box, it was Space Bunny, Frog Prince, and Baby Mammoth. Okay, and the Jack in the Box ended up being unmasked, and it was Rudy Giuliani.
Did he sing well?
No, he was horrible. and so Ken Jeong, he walked out of at the very end. You know, I mean, it's the end of the show. And I loved it because somebody thought it was Robert Duvall, and Nicole leans over to Ken and goes, "Wait, is that Robert Duvall?" And Ken goes, "That's not Robert Duvall." And then he sits there with his arms folded, glaring out at the, he's not a happy man at this point, nor would I have been. And then they're all like, "Oh, sing for us," and Ken's like, "Okay, I'm out of here," and he leaves. And then the internet shits on him.
Oh, see, I didn't see any of that. I saw the ones that I saw were supporting him.
Right. Well, that's the thing. The people who were supporting him weren't as vocal as the people who thought he was unprofessional. We're calling for him to be fired. He should not be allowed to be on the show anymore. And so, and finally, I got into this little match with some asshole on Facebook who writes this fucking paragraph, and I go, "Okay, why don't you just shut up? You're an idiot." And then he goes, "Oh, what a great comeback from! Well, I only expect such a great comeback to come from such an illiterate lib." And I'm like, "Okay, asshole, you are going on and on and on. You are so offended by the fact that some celebrity walks out at the end of the show while we have people that you support in the GOP who are destroying this country. I think you need to rework your, figure out what your priorities are here." Yeah. And then he kept going on and on. I never looked back. I was done. I had my say. I had
one of those going on about Chris Pratt.
Oh, God.
And how we're all being so unfair to him and shitting all over him, and he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, well, just tell his hopefully Anna, next time she has a child, will have a healthy child, unlike the new ones that Schwarzenegger is popping out for him. Oh, that thing upset me so much. And I know that I don't think it was like, I don't think he was deliberately no. When you say thank you online for giving me a healthy child, you're implying that your other child, which isn't healthy, is less of a
no, you're absolutely right thing.
Yeah, he's a fucker, and I hope he's going to be the new Mario brother, he's going to be the new Garfield, and I hope they all go into the toilet, and I'll do everything I can to make sure they do. Thank you.
Well, okay, but I seriously think that his time is about up. He's got like a few more years, and then his freshness is done. Seriously, he is oversaturated to the point where I don't even really hear much about him anymore.
Well, if he didn't get into 2 franchises, I don't think he'd even be around.
Honestly, no, you're right. Anyway.
Okay. Let's see what we have here. Moon Knight. I mean, it's really hard to keep up with Moon Knight. I mean, it's not that it's too confusing. It's just there's too many boring parts of it where we got to sit and talk about shit. I don't want these things are too short to fill in with garbage. Not garbage, but just yak yak yak. I don't. I want to see the storyline move. And if you can't give me the movement and the storyline with a couple lines here and there, sorry that I upset you, but I was taken over by this Egyptian god. Okay, I had no control of my body. Get over it.
Mhm.
But no, that ended up being like a 10-minute scene that I was polishing my rifle with. So anyway,
Okay.
Woke was on Woke, the one episode that I'm talking about this week, because they're all really good. But there's a newspaper called the Bay Aryan. So it takes place in San Francisco. Bay Aryan,
Ah.
Bay Area, Bay Aryan.
Oh, okay. Because the way that it's pronounced, I thought you were
That's
talking
why I
about
kept
like.
trying to make you understand.
Gotcha. Thank you.
It
Okay.
takes place in San Francisco, Bay Aryan. Okay.
Gotcha.
Oh boy, keep up. Anyway,
Well, come on.
This is they're losing their space because it's a newspaper, and you know how that can be, a local.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they have a big party, and what happens is they invite all the people, the readers, because they've got a decent group of people. They've got a good what do you call that? Not population. It's
Leadership.
yes, but I felt there's another word for it anyway. So they what happens is only white people show up, and so she's all upset because it's a black newspaper and it's about San Francisco, and the white guy goes, well, are you really surprised? No, it was the black guy. He says, are you really surprised? All the black people have moved out of San Francisco because they can't afford the rent. So basically these are supporters of the newspaper who are feeling enough guilt to read a black newspaper. And it's like she's like, oh fuck. She had no idea that she was actually, writing for white people. And it's that part of that woke thing, it was very funny. And also on the episode, the white guy in the show, who's from Workaholics, with the big hair from Workaholics, he's got 3 black roommates, and they all have washcloths in the shower, because they have one bathroom that they all share. And he's going, what's with all the washcloths? And they go, well, you put the soap on it, and then you wash yourself with it, wash your arms and your torso and your legs. And he goes, well, you don't have to wash your legs, because all the soap just drains down, and that's how you wash your legs. And they're going, no, that's not the way it works. So everywhere he goes, he asks white people, okay, do you wash your legs? And they go, well, you don't have to, because the soap just
yeah.
It was such a funny gag that they carried on throughout the episode. But the funny thing is, I kind of always think that way too. And who knows, it's just but it was really funny. Really funny episode. The show is I love the show because it really shows the fact that nobody's happy with anything you do. Okay, that's it. We're done. Let's see. Russian Dolls just started up on the show on Netflix. The season 2, and this time around, instead of her dying every episode, she gets on the subway, and when she gets off the subway, she's back, but she's her mother. And so she's back in 1982, because it's funny, because she gets onto the subway and she's like, well, that's weird. I haven't, she gets on a car. She goes, I haven't seen an ad for Tab in forever. And there's Tab ads everywhere. And there's like Meryl Streep crowning, Glory and Sophie's Choice. And it's like, she's going, this is weird. She gets off the car and realizes that finally, when she sees herself in a mirror, that she's her mother from 40 years ago. So, no, it was cool. It's very cool so far.
Yeah, but it just made me feel a little old. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, because she's younger than you are.
Yeah.
And this is the girl, remember, who played but I'm a cheerleader.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, so she's the lead in the show. Really good. You should check out the first season first, and then and come and watch the second season if you haven't seen the first season. And let's see, there's a new show called Roar on Apple TV, and it's very strange. I'll just tell you, it's 8 different episodes, 8 different stories, but it's kind of like a Black Mirror episode where it's something strange is happening. I still don't understand what happened in episode 1. I almost want to go back and watch it, thinking maybe I missed where they said something that would tell me what was really going on, because I really feel I missed something. But there's 8 different episodes. They're all about 8 different women who something happens to, something, I guess, sci-fi, anyway, it's very weird, but I'm still looking forward to seeing more. And then I did see Spider-Man,
Yay.
No Home,
No Way Home.
No Way Home, which I thought was really fun, really good, very clever with what they did, to, especially in after, well, it's kind of funny because I'm saying, well, after all these different Spider-Mans that we've had in the last 20 years, because we've had 3 different Spider-Men, and ultimately we end up with 3 different Spider-Men. So I thought that was fun and clever. And my favorite line is when the 3 different Spider-Men, because I'm sorry, at this point, if you don't know what's going on, if you haven't seen the preview, because even in the preview, they say what's going on, so there's no real surprise.
Mm-hmm.
When the 3 Spider-Men are sitting around talking, and what's his name? Andrew Garfield is going, "Oh, you guys did more as Spider-Man than I did. I just wasn't as good as Spider-Man as you." And Tobey Maguire goes, "No, you were amazing."
Yeah.
You were amazing, because to change up the Spider-Man, they added the Amazing Spider-Man to the title. Columbia did to separate it from the Tobey Maguire movies. So I thought that was really funny that they kind of threw that in. And I know that not a lot of people wouldn't even get the joke, but I thought I got the joke, and I really enjoyed that. And then finally I saw Scream, the new Scream movie, which brings back, the 3 main leads, Dewey, and Gail, and what was the Sydney. So the 3 that from the first one, they come back, and the basic storyline here is the reason why Ghostface comes back is because the stab movies have progressively been getting worse and worse and worse, which stab movies are based on Scream, or well, that's what they call the movie in the movies that were based on the show, on what happened. And so what happened is they're going, well, there's a whole fan base out there that's upset because the last stab movie didn't even have Ghostface in it. It didn't make reference to any of the other movies. It was just on its own. And I use the example, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Remember, because you can't take a franchise and then throw a separate story in there that doesn't have any of the characters that we've been introduced. That's like not having Jason Voorhees in a Friday the 13th, or having instead of Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street, you got this other guy, but he only killed women who bought vacuum cleaners from him. It's like, no, you can't do that. So one of the lines in that is, "Oh, okay, so I could be killed because of fan fiction," and they're like, basically. But it was a fun. I like the Scream movies; they were fun, and they have the main characters from the first movie back. Well, first and second, and maybe even third. I don't know. I lost track with those, but yeah, it's still a fun movie. It's only on Paramount Plus, so it may be available in like rental form, but I don't know. But I know it's available if you have Paramount Plus. So that's it for me. You already met the girls, so
yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
How about your week?
Well, let's start with mom update. She's doing okay. We did have one of the big three appointments this week for her. That was the hand because her wrist is like really super swollen and her hands hurt a lot. So went up to there and found out that she has some arthritis, some like rapid arthritis growth going on, and that there are tendons that are just like growing and stretching and like pushing her bones apart. So the doctor said that they tend that most of the time that ends on their own without having having to have anything done or whatever. So we're hoping for that. We're hoping that that will be good. This morning she had her stress test to find out what's going on, if anything serious with her heart. So we'll know about that probably either later this afternoon or tomorrow. So we gotta find that out. And then she goes in for a lung x-ray on Thursday. So some big things that are going on to try to find out what we need to do to keep the mom doing well moving forward. I did watch a few more episodes of Gotham Season 3 so far. This is the show's not even on anymore, so not spoiler alerts, but I'm up to the part where there's like a twin of young Batman, and I don't know, the show went from being really fun twisted to just like, huh? So I don't know. Also, do you remember the RuPaul's Dragging the Classics? And she did like this version of Brady Bunch that was mostly drag queens, but brought back the original.
Yeah, I saw it.
I finally watched that, and
available only on Paramount Plus. Go ahead.
Yes, and it was cute. It was fun. It was a nice little half an hour. Like, okay, that's nice.
And they actually did it was an actual episode that they reenacted.
Yes, I did question the decision to change the wig to something that was more Serena from Bewitched rather than what's her name, the Revenge, the Black Revenge movies. What's her name? I love her. Angela? No, you know what I'm talking about? Like the Black exploitation films. She was like the queen of them.
Revenge movie?
Yeah. Okay. The queen, she had the huge afro and she went and she beat the crap out of people and stabbed them, and
like Cleopatra Jones.
I guess we'll go with that. But I was looking the one that Brian loves. Cleopatra
Jones.
Okay, we'll go with that. Brian. But no, she has the one I'm thinking about has a different name. Anyway, so yeah, anyway, it was just a fun little something. If you just have half an hour and you want to have some fun, I know you know who she really is. And then I watched what?
Nothing.
I watched Moonfall.
Ugh.
I know. This, it had all the elements that it needed to become a really good kick-off to the summer. I wouldn't say blockbuster movie, but action film. It really could have been good. It had a good cast. It had good props and sets, which I'm sure they did dirt cheap, but they looked fine. They had good special effects. They had good sound, and yet they produced something that made you go, "Oh my God, are you serious?" Like it went from, "Oh, the moon is moving by a fraction of an inch every month that I've been following it," to all of a sudden, like the moon's like 10 feet away from the Earth. It didn't. But I will say again, if you're having some when the girls mature and you're having a weekend where you're just like kicking back and there's nothing else on, it's not horrible. If you want a good action destruction type movie, it's not horrible, but it is like cookie cutter basics without any good frosting on the cookie. So, um, let's see. I finished Raised by Wolves season 2, and it took about 3 episodes to get into it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Tom is playing with one of his girls right now. And let me tell you, that's what you need. That's what the writers did when they were writing season 2 of Raised by Wolves. It was enough to keep me going, enough action and stuff to keep me trying to figure out what the hell was going on. But by the end of the season, I was like, well, that was interesting, but I don't have a clue what the hell happened. I don't think the writers did either. I think they just started smoking doobies and churning shit out.
Smoking doobies won't make you, that makes you produce good stuff. I don't know what some of these shows are doing, but they're obviously, I'm thinking mushrooms and or peyote.
It had to be something, because, yeah, and I loved at the end of these, at the end of the episodes, they would have the episode wrap up with some of the people that were in it, and they were trying to explain like all the plot and what's going on and how it's so significant to. And I'm like, y'all are just making this shit up. Try to save your jobs for season 3, because this is just bullshit. But
well, I always feel that way when they doing these. If you have to have a wrap up show going on, then maybe you're not telling the story very well.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because, oh, and the other thing was how this, the kid that she raised, the main one that she thinks is going to take over, and he is like, why does he have this weird fake English accent? Like, none of the others talk that way. The father, the robot father, he talks that way, but hardly any of the rest of the cast have English accents. It's weird. Picard season 2. I did watch Picard season 2. I think there's like 2 or 5 more episodes or something to come out. It's really good. I will say that I love watching sci-fi movies where they're space movies and stuff, but when they come back in time, I don't need you to come back here and tell me all the shit that's wrong. I know. I live here. I want to see you in the future, shooting up things and solving problems and making peace and new civilizations and shit. I don't need you to come back here. But they included like everything that's going on, the way that undocumented people are treated, the homeless situation, the earth, environmental issues. And I just like, oh God, would you just get on with the episode? Anyway, but that aside, it is still a very excellently done show. The new Call Me Cat, very fun. They made a wild character choice for Cat to go off and have sex with this new guy who is really hot. And you probably know him from several shows. Andy, I don't know, something or other.
Andy Dick.
Oh God, I would stop watching. But yeah, it's gotten more and more adult and more fun. Top Chef. Did you watch Top Chef?
Yeah.
You didn't talk about it.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So anyway, I caught up on Top Chef too, and I was sad with who left. But I'm hoping she'll be back.
Oh wait, which?
With spoiler alert, the female Asian lesbian chef.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but I always loved them.
Well, you haven't seen the Restaurant Wars then?
Yeah, I saw Restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was happy to see that one go.
Yes. I was too, because even with I actually was kind of hoping that he would last because of the not being able to taste shit, but he was just so freaking cocky. And I'm sorry, but nobody runs the front of the house that way. No, he deserved to go for that.
Well, yeah, it's funny because I'm also watching Canada and the Canada Top Chef, and in one episode that I just watched, what happened was one of the guys says somebody cheated that ended up in the top. This guy that's in the bottom said one of the chefs cheated. And so they said, well, how did how did he cheat? And they go, he served you something that he didn't serve the rest of the people. And so they brought him in, and he goes, no, I just used this charcoal. It's this charcoal to make something look darker. I didn't have enough of the charcoal, so yours were dark. It was like little beignet kind of things. Yours were darker, but the rest of them were the same. I mean, it's the same batter. It's just you had more of the ones I made for you had more of the darker batter, but that's not cheating. You know, a visual effect, not cheating. And so they ended up throwing out the guy who made who tried to throw the guy under the bus. But
that's a Canadian show for you.
But what I hated about the Restaurant Wars on the American version was not only is the guy in the front of the house, but the guy that they were ready to throw off, the other guy that was on his team, he told him that it was too salty.
Yeah.
And he got hit because it wasn't salty enough. And the whole thing is he can't taste salt if he has no taste and no smell. Why is he giving cooking advice?
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I was ready to see him go. That was bullshit, because I liked him up to that point. You know, I understood, you know, he was really getting by. He got halfway through the show, but you don't give fucking cooking advice to your coworkers if you can't taste something.
Yeah.
You don't say, oh, no, that's way too salty. Way too salty. And it's like, although I have no, you know, I can't taste anything, but it's way too salty. I was so confused why he would do that.
Right. I actually questioned that too. And they questioned it.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't call him on it because they didn't know, but they still said, you know, anyway. No, it's totally cool. That's my same thing that I was thinking, but I'm glad I'm watching it. Usually I wait till everything's done, but yeah. Whoa, I'm falling all over. It feels weird. Anyway, let's see. I started watching. My Hulu just automatically, whenever I finish an episode of something, it flips to Mom. You remember that series?
Yes.
Yeah, and I have watched the first few episodes before and thought it was like, that was one of the best. What is the word? Series, you know, when you do a series, you do like one episode to, you know, the starter episode. Yes, thank you. That was one of the best pilots I have seen for a comedy series for a long. It really just knocked it out of the park, and it made me want more. So I did watch through episode 3, and I'm considering just going ahead and binging the show at some point.
Well, I don't think you'll regret it. What I liked about the show was, even though it's done by, I think it's Chuck's, what's the guy? Yeah. And I don't usually like his shows because they are, I'm sorry, but they're fish in a barrel kind of, you know. They're just, it's very common. It's very, you know, broad kind of bullshit. But with this one, first of all, you've got a great cast.
Yes.
The cast was exceptional in it, and it gets better and better as they add new people into it. Because after the first or second season, we don't see the kids much anymore, and it's just Allison Jennings and Anna Faris and their friends. And once it gets to their friends, the show's even better. So, because they bring in these great character actresses who, you know, unfortunately aren't getting work anymore. You know, that's just the way television is. And so you have these people, and they're very funny. And I thought it was a really interesting situation dealing with alcoholism as the story arc. Well, not the story arc, what the story's about. Because, you know, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. So they're always dealing with it.
Right.
And so, you know, there's times where you can fall back and, you know, and see what happens, you know, play up, you know, oh, now I'm back to, you know, 1 day with my chit instead of a 3-year chit. Now I've got a 1-day chit because I fucked up. But, you know, it's who would have thought that would make a good comedy?
Right.
Oh, speaking of that, they renewed Single Drunk Female for season 2.
I will give it a chance. I'm curious to see how it goes with that.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Let's see. So I also finished, I basically tried to finish a bunch of stuff. 1,000 Pound Best Friends. Uh, it was a fun show. It was a good show. It had a kind of happy ending for them.
Oh, they didn't die?
No, she lost enough weight to get the surgery. And then they all went to their high school reunion, and one of them got closure on an old boyfriend who treated her like shit. Anyway, it's basically Real Housewives of Alabama, but if you're interested, it's worth the watch. It's half weight loss, stuff, and a doctor who's telling them, if you don't lose this weight through this surgery, you'll be dead in a year. That type of bullshit. But away from that, it's more about the interpersonal relationship to the women. So that's the good part. I finished Minx, which I binged the last 8 episodes.
There were 8 episodes.
Huh? There were
There
10
were only-
episodes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I got to 8 and then it said next episode, and I was like, huh? So yes, I watched all the episodes and I really enjoyed the whole series. There were a few parts where, but I remember especially the episodes where they're like, oh, we have 24 hours to get an entire magazine put together for a printer. Oh my God, we can't do that. I'm like, I fucking remember those nights. I remember having to do that shit. So yeah, so that was kind of interesting. I don't know your comments, because
There are a lot of dicks.
Yes, there were. And that guy at the end, well, maybe she should have used a lighter pepper, but oops. So yeah, it was a good show. I do really recommend that. And then I finished up The Cool Kids, which, we've been around forever, but it's a fun show. Go watch it if you get a chance to see it.
Is it available anywhere?
Wasn't
that the reason you bought it?
Yeah, because I couldn't find it, but I'm sure that there's got to be some place where you can.
I can't figure out why it wouldn't be on Hulu, considering
Right.
they do all the Fox shows on Hulu because Fox owns Fox, and so that's where I go for The Masked Singer to watch it if I'm not watching it live, and other shows. So maybe it's there. I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely worth. It was a fun show. They had a good cast. And I don't know why I still don't know why it didn't go on to another season. It was doing fine in the ratings.
Yeah, hopefully, I imagine at some point, a couple of years from now, we'll find out like one of them was holding out for more money or wanted to do another project or something.
Well, what I had heard was they wanted to cancel the Tim Allen show that was the lead-in. They canceled it. Remember, they canceled it, and at the same time they canceled this show because they were, I don't know, maybe to look like they weren't going after Tim, but and then they ended up bringing him back, but not the Cool Kids.
Yeah, that sucks because it was a fun show, and I think it's available. I mean, even if you want to buy it, it's like $9, I think, on Amazon, and it's totally worth it. And it's 22 episodes, so all good. And then the only other thing is I watched Batman, the new Batman movie on HBO. I was concerned that it would be another origin story, and I'm so burned out on Batman origin stories. It wasn't. I mean, obviously the backstory and everything played into it, but they took it from a totally different angle. It was really well done. It was the first Batman that I didn't really want to jump in bed with. I'll say that. But he still did okay. He was better with his mask on. And I'm not saying that he's ugly or anything. I'm just saying that I did not care for. He was fine. Let's just say he's fine. But the rest of the cast was great. The Catwoman character was great. I don't know how the hell she's supposed to kick so much ass when she looks like she could be broken in half with a toothpick, but still great character. I really like the approach that they took. This was a good solid Batman movie.
3 hours.
Yeah, so you're not gonna be I don't know, out in 2 hours or whatever. But
Well,
it was fine. They could have cut.
Break it into 3 hour-long episodes and
Yeah.
treat it like a limited series.
There you go. And that would work. But honestly, they could have cut probably at least about 20 minutes or more of, like staring out over the cityscape bullshit. But it was still a really good movie. And now we want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and to be you. Because Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who've been told that you are too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. And Chubs Gone Wild listeners, you can use the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything while ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com.
I'll tell you, the one comment I have is that they need to get less distracting models.
Oh, aren't they beautiful?
Because like you're looking at the model and you're not looking at the clothes. I think that's dangerous. I think that's a bad move, marketing wise, because they've got some really cute stuff. But yeah, it's like you go, oh, who's this? And then I was doing it. And I'm like going, oh wait, this is a Fat Marker ad. Oh, because I looked down and all of a sudden I saw he's wearing like a shorts that have like the Fat Queen picture on it. Oh, okay. I didn't even realize this is an ad. I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, Julian's getting a lot of attention, and they've been in like magazines. They've been like I think they've been getting some awards. I mean, they've been really doing some great stuff. So it's great to see them getting that recognition. All right, here is some advice. Dear Prudie, Slate.com. Go check them out. My son. No. Yes. Okay. My just turned 18-year-old son, who is a senior in high school and lives at home, recently came home and told me he has his first girlfriend and that he is in love. He said she's older than he is. He looks a bit older than 18. Turns out his new love is 48 years old. Tom, are you dating? Anyway, that is a year older than me. I met her, and she is actually very nice and in love with my son. If I had grown up in this town, we would have been going to school together and likely be best friends. She is not his teacher or in any position that would be suspect. They simply met at a cafe and fell in love. Is this okay?
Well, sure. Why not? First thing, you know what he's not going to do? He's not going to knock her up. Okay. So that's one plus right there. And that's that. Honestly, I think that would be, and she's also going to teach him a lot of things. He's 18. He's not going to marry her. Most likely not going to marry her. He's going to, have some fun and then it'll be over with. Yeah, I wouldn't. Honestly, I know that a lot of people think that there's an age difference is a bad thing. A lot of times it can be a good thing. He can learn a lot from her that he doesn't know, that he didn't learn from his mother, that she won't teach him because, it's his mother. Yeah. But, she can, she's not going to be playing, teenage girl games with him and it's hard, she's not going to get pregnant. Yeah, I don't have any problem with this. If they're going to get married, next month, then we may have a problem.
Yeah. I'm pretty much right in the same vein with that. I mean, yes, that is 30 years is a big age gap, but again, whatever. Like you said, I mean, I agree with all the points that you said. And as long as they aren't, he doesn't come home and go, oh, I proposed or something like that.
Or he's pregnant.
Yeah, that might be a miracle. But yeah, I just I okay. They'll one or the other will lose interest at some point fairly soon.
Right. Yes.
But I mean, this is like the story about the summer story where you go and you have a fling. You go to
Yeah.
a
Summer 42.
yeah. All right. Well, anyway, here's what Dear Prudie had to say. She may not be his teacher, but she'll be his teacher, all right. This does not feel very okay. And if the sexes were reversed, it still wouldn't. A 30-year-old age difference, a 30-year age difference for a first romance is definitely designed to make one's parents unhappy. As nice as this woman might be, she sounds utterly oblivious to the inappropriateness of her behavior. Your son should be focused on his homework and going to college, if that's on his agenda. So, as with any new romance, you need to make sure he's not devoting all his time to his new lady friend. However, he's 18, and the bigger deal you make out of this, the deeper his love will probably be. You can express your understandable concern that he's dating someone older than you, then back off and make sure he's studying for his biology test.
Yeah, but if he had a girlfriend that was, 17 years old, he would probably be spending more time with her.
And he'd probably be need to be more careful because if they have sex.
Well, there's pregnancy and there's, a 48-year-old woman's probably not going to be experimenting with drugs. She's probably got a place, first of all, has a place of her own. So he's not going to be fucking in a car somewhere or getting drunk with his friends, I don't know. I think in a lot of foreign countries, sex with an older person, like an 18-year-old with an older person is a way of teaching them. And I think he's going to think about it. He's going to know a lot more about sex
and how to find the clitoris.
Well, it's just how to treat a woman than he would if he's dealing with some bitch girl who's going to be playing mind games with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll know that. Anyway, well, Dear Prudie disproves and is borderline saying that she's a younger chaser or something. Anyway, whatever, Prudie.
Right.
I guess they call her Prudie for a reason.
I mean, I get it. I understand why some people would be a little, taken back, but it's not going to hurt anything. Like if nothing else, you're not going to end up with grandkids. So, be grateful for that.
Yeah.
I mean, grateful for grandkids this early. Later on, he can get, he can knock somebody else up and you're going to have kids, but hopefully after he's done some college or something, I don't know. I think it's really nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
She's not after his money.
That's for sure. Maybe he's after hers. Wink. Maybe he's the predator.
Maybe. There you go.
Oh. Hey Chubs, how old were you when you saw your first adult magazine?
Oh, adult magazine. See, I would have been about probably junior high-ish, somewhere in that area, and it was Playgirl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, aside from my father's girly magazines, which I really don't consider, I mean, I was like 7 or 8 and they were under the couch, but they didn't float my boat. So I'm going for my first real one was about 15. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a torso magazine, I believe. All right. Hey Chubs, how much money would it take for you to pose nude in a magazine?
Let's say retirement money.
Okay.
Yeah, because money enough that I don't care if anybody sees it or not. I see a lot of people who've done stuff and regretted it because, you know, their mom gets to see it, and you know, it's I don't have to worry about that. So, but I really would prefer it to be enough money to make it worth my while.
Yeah.
Whatever that money number is.
Yeah, I agree. I'd have to have at least a couple, you know, 100,000, I think.
Really?
No, honestly, I'd do it for much less, but I want to seem like I would hold out.
Oh my God, you're a whore.
I know. All right. Well, I didn't do a take a guess this time, so we're gonna guess that I didn't do it. But we are going to jump into the lunchbox. And first off, we have Mr. Moose P. And he writes in and says, steak and cheese sandwich, toasted wheat sub roll, melted white American cheese, thin sliced steak, green peppers, mushrooms, and tomato. Right now, I just really want the bread. That looks beautiful.
Well, you know, because remember he said he wasn't buying steaks because they were too expensive, and this is, you know, I applaud him. This is exactly because I'm not buying beef either. And they're saying, oh well, it's probably going to be this way for a while, and I'm like, okay, fuck it, I won't be buying beef for a while then. But
Yeah.
you know, go out and get a sandwich, you know, steak sandwich. This looks fantastic.
It does. And then I don't remember what this dish was called. Was in a Chinese restaurant, shrimp stir fried with a clear sauce with a touch of green onion. Simple but delicious.
Oh, it looks delicious.
It does. And then we have a beautiful vegan burger with real cheese and fries.
Wait, real cheese?
Yes. Oh, by the way, this comes from Michael Sage. Michael is a vegetarian, but so
Okay.
he gets the quote unquote vegan burger, but he gets real cheese and some beautiful fries there. Anyway,
No problem with that. That sounds good.
What I loved about this was he was having lunch with someone who didn't realize that he was a vegetarian and was going on making fun of vegan food and how disgusting and blah blah blah. And then Michael ordered his vegan burger just as an extra little fuck you. It's one of the reasons I adore him. All right, well, send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild, where you can go and see all the fun photos that were sent in for what's in your lunchbox. And don't forget, you can send some to us as well. Also, watch our videos on YouTube. Just go over and Google or, well, search whatever, Chubs Gone Wild. Please consider becoming a patron of the show over at patreon.com/MattBurlingame. Find Tom's movie and TV reviews over at swannerandjudd.com. Find their podcast in iTunes or on iHeartRadio. I know more about my books at justkisstheguy.com, and check out my other podcast at biggaysexshow.com. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes, Queen. And don't forget that it is the end of Bacon birthday month. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that was, okay.
No,
This is wait a whole year for that.
Nephi birthday month.
Oh, but he only wanted a fortnight.
Okay.
So, womp womp. Anyway, we love you, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.